And here we have another tip for you. Thanks to TryBooth. Don't forget the code if you want to get $200 off your TryBooth, TRIPAP 200. There's one right behind me, looking pretty damn cool too. Today we're talking about, speaking of booths, we're talking about the myth of soundproof.
Use your voice, big and loud.
Let the bass talk. I love a good myth.
I love a good myth, but it's time to bust one about soundproofing because people all the time are talking about booths being soundproof.
Get confused.
It's acoustic treatment, not soundproofing. Soundproofing is so difficult. It involves completely decoupling your booth from anything. That would mean jackhammering up the slab in your room.
Yep.
So it actually doesn't touch the rest of the slab, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. I've worked in audio for 35 years and I've only worked once in a soundproof room, which was at a place called Take Two, where I was the senior sound designer. And the way they achieved that was, as you said, they've decoupled the floor, but when they built the walls, they actually filled them with sand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting because a lot of the old radio stations, I remember there was one in Melbourne that was demolished, probably a decade ago now, I guess, but I know somebody went down there to check it out. And everything, it was decoupled and the walls were filled with lead.
Wow, that's extreme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus, imagine the weight in that. I mean, sand I always figured was bad enough, but imagine lead.
Yeah, imagine someone go, can we just adjust the door?
Yes, exactly. Hey, you'd be, I mean, God, I know where I'm heading if there's going to be a nuclear explosion, I suppose, but Christ, it's a bit extreme.
Very extreme. So the myth is you can't soundproof unless you've got a load of money and the ability to decouple, but you can treat acoustically. And if there is a problem with like low-level rumbling, just use a high-pass filter. Yeah. And done.
And you can partly soundproof, I suppose, I guess, for want of a better term. You could, if you're building a booth, you could do your best to make sure it's decoupled.
Well, mine is behind me on the other side, that side.
And that by itself isn't going to soundproof, but it's going to certainly help in soundproofing. So you can do bits of soundproofing and not be completely soundproof, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, mine's decoupled, so it actually sits on rubber. And it's decoupled from all the walls around it. But it's still not soundproof. I mean, it's good, but it's not soundproof.
No, there's still bits that get through. But as you say, every little bit helps. Everything you can do in conjunction then with your acoustic treatment all helps to... Speaking of noise reduction, can you or soundproofing? You can hear the kitchen vents happening in my house right now.
You can indeed. You can indeed. I think the best soundproofing in your place is to go and shout at them.
Absolutely.